1. Which property states that for any real numbers a and b, their product of is also a real number of in R? A commutative. B. Closure. C. Associative. D. Identity. 2. The equation a times 1 equals 1 times a equals a represents which property? A. Inverse. B. Closure. C. Identity. D. Commutative. 3. Which property is demonstrated by 2 times 3 equals 3 times 2 equals 6? A commutative. B. Associative. C. Inverse. D. Closure. 4. Changing the grouping of factors, such as a, b, c equals of c, is called the A. Closure property. B. Identity property. C. Associative property. D. Inverse property. 5. What is the result when a real number a is multiplied by its inverse 1? They. A. B. 0. C. 1. D. 2a. 6. If 2 times 5 equals 10, and 10 is a real number, this is an example of a closure property. B. Inverse property. C. Identity property. D. Associative property. 7. Which equation correctly illustrates the identity property? A. 5 times 0 equals 0. B. 5 times 1 equals 5. C. 5 times 1/5 equals 1. D. 5 times 2 equals 2 times 5. 8. In the example 2 times 3 times 5 equals 2 times 3 times 5, the final answer for both sides is A. 15. B. 6. C. 30. D. 10. 9. The property of equals but is known as the A. Associative property. B. Identity property. C. Commutative property. D. Closure property. 10. Which of the following is the multiplicative inverse of 7? A. -7. B. 1. C. 1/7. D. 0. 11. The inverse property is defined by the formula A times 1 equals A. B. A times 1 per equals 1. C of equals ba. D. B. C equals of C. 12. The product of any two real numbers is a real number. This describes A. Identity. B. Commutative. C. Closure. D. Associative. 13. Which property is used when we say 1 times 5 equals 5? A. Identity. B. Inverse. C. Closure. D. Commutative. 14. If of C equals ABC, this shows that multiplication is A. Commutative. B. Associative. C. Identity-based. D. Closed. 15. In the table, the example 7 times 1/7 equals 1 demonstrates the A. Identity property. B. Closure property. C. Inverse property. D. Commutative property.